The gardeners who eat well in January, the ones roasting parsnips they grew themselves, snapping Brussels sprouts off the stalk, pulling winter squash from a pantry they stocked in fall, they all made one decision. They planted the right seeds in May. Not June, not when the weather settled down, not when they finally got around to it, May. Because May is the hinge point of the entire gardening year. What goes in the ground this month doesn't just determine your summer harvest, it determines whether your garden keeps producing when everything else has gone cold and dark. In the next 16 minutes, I'm walking you through the 6 seeds that matter most right now, including one that most gardeners completely overlook in May, and it's the one with the biggest payoff when winter hits. Don't skip ahead. The order here matters. Seed number 1, winter squash. Let's start with the crop that sounds like a contradiction. Winter squash. Planted in May, harvested in fall, eaten all winter. That's not a typo. Winter squash doesn't grow in winter. It grows through summer and gets harvested at the very end of the season. What makes it a winter crop is what happens after you pick it. Butternuts, kabochas, delicatas, Hubbards, sugar pumpkins, these varieties cure and store for months. One well-grown plant can stock a pantry well into January or February. That's a single season's effort paying dividends in the dead of winter. And the flavor. This is not a consolation crop. Roasted butternut with brown butter, kabocha baked whole, pumpkin soup from something you grew yourself. There is a richness to winter squash that earned it a permanent place in every serious kitchen garden. Start seeds indoors 2 to 3 weeks before your last frost date. 1 seed per pot, planted an inch deep, laid on its side. This helps water reach the seed's softest point and speeds germination. If your soil is already above 60 degrees Fahrenheit and frost is behind you, direct sow right where they'll grow. And if you're growing corn this season, which is the next seed on this list, consider running your squash alongside it using the 3 sisters method. Squash at ground level, shading soil, holding moisture, crowding out weeds. Centuries of results behind it. More on that in 60 seconds. But first, there is a planting mistake with corn that ruins the harvest before it even starts. Don't skip this. Seed number 2, sweet corn. There's a moment home gardeners know, and people who only buy corn from the store never will. It's the moment you bite into an ear that came off the stalk less than an hour ago. The sweetness in corn starts converting to starch the moment it's picked. Store-bought ears were harvested days before you touched them. That sweetness? Already half gone. You've been eating the memory of corn. Growing your own is the only way to taste it the way it's supposed to taste. Sow about 1 inch deep once soil hits 60 degrees Fahrenheit. In cooler areas, start indoors in deep containers. Toilet paper rolls work well, giving roots room to develop without crowding. 1 seed per tube, planted the whole thing so you don't disturb the roots. Now, here is the mistake that kills corn harvests in home gardens, the one that costs gardeners fully filled cobs every single year. Planting corn in a single long row. Corn is wind-pollinated. Tassels at the top release pollen that has to reach the silks below. In a single row, that pollen drifts sideways and disappears. You end up with tall, beautiful plants and hollow, spotty ears. Plant in a block, minimum 4 rows wide. Pollen circulates in every direction, silks get hit regardless of which way the wind is blowing, and every fertilized silk becomes one more kernel. That is the difference between a harvest and a disappointment. Side dress with nitrogen fertilizer when plants reach knee height, and again when tassels appear. Keep water consistent through pollination, then wait, because when those ears are ready, nothing else in the garden compares. The third sister completes the trio, and it's also the most forgiving crop on this entire list. Let's talk beans. Seed number 3, climbing beans. Every vegetable garden has an invisible ceiling, a height limit most gardeners never think to challenge. Climbing beans don't care about that ceiling. They'll grow right past it. Up a trellis, a bamboo teepee, an arch, pole beans add a whole vertical dimension that flat-growing vegetables simply can't. They're beautiful, incredibly productive, and genuinely forgiving for beginners. Plant them in warm soil, give them something to climb, and mostly get out of the way. Sow seeds an inch deep. 6 inches apart along your support. Warm maize soil means fast germination, sometimes under a week. They'll climb fast and start flowering before you know it. But here's the thing most gardeners figure out too late in the season. Stop picking and the plant stops producing. Full stop. The moment a bean pod matures and dries on the vine, the plant reads mission accomplished. Flowering stops, pod production stops, the plant shifts into seed-saving mode and starts winding down. Pick young, pick constantly, even when you have more than you need, and that same plant will keep going for weeks longer than you'd ever expect. One more thing, try some of the colored varieties this season. Yellow wax beans, deep purple pods, same flavor, but they stand out against the foliage. No more crawling through leaves hunting for pods that went invisible. You'll find them before they get tough. And for the three sisters, pole beans fix nitrogen from the air directly into the soil, a biological gift to the corn and squash alongside them. All three support each other. The whole system improves with no extra work from you. Remember, I mentioned one seed most gardeners skip, the one with the biggest winter payoff? We're about to get there. Seed number 4, Brussels sprouts, the one most gardeners skip. This is the one. The seed most gardeners scroll past in May because the harvest feels too far away, because they'll get to it later. Later is too late. Brussels sprouts take a minimum of 6 months from seed to harvest. That is not a soft estimate. It is the biology of the plant. If you want sprouts on your Thanksgiving table or Christmas dinner, the window is right now. Not next month, now. And here's the revelation that changes how most people think about this vegetable. Homegrown Brussels sprouts taste nothing like the ones from the grocery store. Store-bought sprouts were harvested days before you see them. The bitterness people associate with Brussels sprouts, that is a freshness problem, not a flavor problem. A sprout pulled straight off the stalk is sweet, nutty, almost tender, a completely different vegetable than what most people have experienced. Start seeds now in a plug tray, 2 seeds per cell, a 1/4 inch deep. Thin to the strongest seedling once they've germinated. Grow on for 4 to 5 weeks indoors, then transplant outside spaced 2 feet apart. They need that room to develop the tall central stalk where all those little sprouts form, stacked neatly from base to top. And don't rush the harvest. A light frost doesn't damage Brussels sprouts. Cold converts starches to sugars inside the vegetable, deepening the flavor naturally. Let winter do some of the cooking for you. Next up is another winter heavyweight, one that asks almost nothing of you for months and then delivers something extraordinary.
Seed number 5, parsnips. Parsnips are the vegetable that keeps getting overlooked, and every gardener who grows them wonders why everyone else isn't. Roasted parsnips caramelize in a way almost nothing else does. Edges gone slightly dark and crisp, the inside sweet and yielding. Simple, earthy, deeply satisfying. And they come out of your own garden in the middle of winter when everything else in the yard is dormant. There is one rule with parsnips that is non-negotiable. Direct sow only, never transplant. Parsnips form a taproot from the moment the seed sprouts. Any disturbance to that root produces forked, stunted results, or nothing usable at all. Sow them where they will stay, in loose, deep, stone-free soil, about 1/2 inch deep. Then be patient. 3 to 4 weeks before the first seedling appears. Do not pull the row, do not assume they failed. They are down there. They are coming. Here's a clever trick that solves the waiting problem entirely. Sow radish seeds in the same row. Radishes germinate in days. They clearly mark the row before you accidentally hoe through it. And they'll be harvested long before parsnips need the space. 2 crops from 1 row. No wasted ground. From there, parsnips are nearly self-sufficient. Water in dry spells, thin to 6 inches apart, and leave them alone until fall. Frost sweetens the roots, so there's no rush to pull them. They will wait for you. And now, the one that smells like summer finally decided to stay.
Close your eyes for a second and think of that smell. That's basil, and there is no synthetic version of that scent. You can't buy it in a candle. You have to grow it. Basil is summer in plant form. It belongs beside your tomatoes in the garden and in every dish that comes out of your kitchen from July through September. Fresh pesto, caprese salads, torn over pizza right out of the oven. One of the most versatile, rewarding herbs any home gardener can grow. But basil has a requirement most people underestimate. It needs genuine warmth. Soil at a steady 65 to 70 degrees Fahrenheit minimum. Below that, the seeds just sit there. Cold stalls them completely, and the season slips away. Start in a seed tray with fine seed starting mix, pre-moistened before you sow. Basil seeds are tiny. Scatter a light pinch across the surface and cover with just the thinnest dusting of mix. Then cover the whole tray with a clear plastic bag or humidity dome. Heat and moisture in, cold and dry air out. Once seedlings appear, off comes the cover. Move them to your brightest light source. Harden off before transplanting and wait until nights are consistently warm before they go outside. Basil will collapse at the first cold snap. Don't rush it out. The secret to a basil plant that produces all season long is simple. Pick it constantly. Pinch flower buds the moment they appear. The second basil bolts and goes to seed, the leaves turn bitter, and the plant starts winding down. Pinch the flowers, pick the leaves. Do it religiously, and it will reward you all the way into fall.
6 seeds. 1 month. The squash that stocks a pantry through January. The corn no grocery store can replicate. The beans that keep producing as long as you keep picking. The Brussels sprouts that surprise everyone at the table. The parsnips that wait underground and reward you with something sweet. The basil that turns a Tuesday dinner into something worth remembering. Every single one of them starts right now, in May, in your garden. The gardeners who eat well in winter are not lucky. They are not more talented. They are not working with better soil or a bigger yard. They just started at the right time. This is the right time. If this video helped, hit the like button. It tells YouTube this content is worth sharing, and it genuinely helps the channel grow. Drop a comment with which of these 6 you're planting first, and subscribe if you haven't yet. Now, go plant something.